Okay, I want to thank everyone for joining us here on our webinar Wednesday on Lightspeed Trading. My name is Rob Lifson. Even though it says Mike here, I'm just using his login, but my name is Rob Lifson. I'm the sales associate at Lightspeed. I want to just do a quick disclosure here for everyone before we get going, and then I'll hand the mic over here to Dan. So just please keep in mind that this presentation is for informational purposes only. Nothing presented today should be construed as investment advice or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific securities. Since we do not know everyone's investment objectives or risk tolerance, we are not endorsing any specific trading strategies. We also encourage you to ask questions as we go through the presentation, and you can do that by typing them right into the webinar chat box as we go. Myself or one of the other panelists here will try to answer them as we go, or we definitely will get to them by the end of the presentation. This presentation will be recorded and uploaded to our online webinar library. You'll be able to see this as well as our past webinars online at lightspeed.com/webinar. If any point during the presentation you missed something or want to go back and reference it at a future date, you can always go back to the website to view the archive. Any specific questions about what you're seeing or at a later date, please feel to contact me directly at sales@lightspeed.com or by visiting our website at lightspeed.com. You can request a demo of the platform at any time. Okay, get that out of the way. Now I'm going to hand the presentation over to Dan. He is a managing director at Trade Ideas. Quickly, here's the Trade Ideas story. It is a very professional scanning tool with a lot of strategies built in, but I'll let them talk and discuss and see how we can integrate that with Lightspeed and show you how to be a little bit more productive. So just give me one moment. I'm going to shift over the presentation to Dan and we'll get going here.
Okay, everyone, I want to thank everybody for attending and taking your time to watch this presentation of how to use an optimized workspace with Trade Ideas and Lightspeed. Let's talk about a couple of things first, just so that you know. For everybody who is a Lightspeed customer, our relationship with Lightspeed allows you to get Trade Ideas completely for free. So if you have not taken advantage of that, you really ought to. News is still kind of filtering out to everyone, but basically, again, just a quick reminder, if you are a Lightspeed customer and you trade through Lightspeed, you have 100% free access to Trade Ideas in any way, shape, and form that we do it, on the web, through Trade Ideas Pro. You have the ability to backtest. So all these things are pretty expensive if you didn't have Lightspeed and us working the strategic partnership. The Trade Ideas subscription alone costs $75 a month, and to be able to backtest all this intraday data is a one-time $1,100 fee. So Lightspeed does an amazing job of subsidizing this for all of their active participants. And again, if you have not taken advantage of it, you really ought to, because it's free and there's no better price than that. So let me just, again, real quick, make sure that you guys are hearing me just fine. So just like we said before, please type in yes and, or something that I'm aware that everybody is able to hear me and that that all the audio is coming through the way it should. Or applause, however you like to. Okay, great. Seems like everything's good. So I want to talk today, you're seeing my screen here, and this screen is a optimized workspace. And the idea here is that we wanted to do a webinar about how to maximize technology for your trading. So this, or investing for that matter. So this webinar is less about configuring. We don't want you to worry about well, how did you make this window, or how did you make this window, or this window, or this window? What I want you to understand and feel is that how all of this flows together. And the idea here is that, we all know that the market is challenging. There's no real easy way to make money trading, and everybody who says so really is just kind of full of it. Even people with the best technology are still challenged to find consistent returns. So what we know from talking to other customers and yourselves and everybody who interacts with us is the better your information flow, the more efficient you are at seeing the big picture and data in general, the better you are able to do. And that's what we strive for at Trade Ideas. We try to make the most efficient workflow of data to get you to the point where you can review trading opportunities as quickly as possible and make decisions as quickly as possible. So what I'm going to do is, and you can see my mouse, I'm going to start from the upper left-hand corner and kind of work through in a circular fashion so that everything you see will kind of come together. And again, remember that all the things that you see here, this Trade Ideas Pro for Lightspeed, if you want to use this and if you want to interact with it, again, we will set you up. There's videos to show you how to do it, but primarily we will give you complete solution where you come to us, we'll set up your workspace, and all you will be able to then do is just trade and evaluate your P&L. So starting over here is the Trade Ideas Pro toolbar, and this toolbar primarily lets you know that I'm connected, everything is green, and there's a 11 to 22 millisecond turnaround time between us and New York. That's fine because, again, we're not HFT traders, we're not doing stat arb, and the time frames for everybody involved are not like 1 minute or 2 minutes. I mean, if you're trying to trade like that, it's, again, even more challenging. For anybody who's just active in the market, whether it's intraday trading or swing trading, this kind of data speed is beyond fast enough, and it's faster than human perception. So this is your toolbar, and this lets you know that everything is working just fine. Right next to it is a top list, and this top list contains the market leaders. And again, what we do here is we try to block data together so that you can see more information at once. So notice here you have the spiders, the diamonds, and the Qs. They were all up about the same, 0.4% from the close, but the spiders traded 1.15 times their average relative volume, whereas the diamonds and the Qs were right on par. So the S&P actually traded a little bit more than average. Then what we do is we show you these position and range bars that let you see where is the instrument in relationship to its high and low. And in this case, this is its high and low for the previous day, 15-minute, 1 hour, daily, and yearly. So this way you can really take a quick snapshot and you can see that, okay, well, the S&P is just 9% underneath yesterday's highs, while the diamonds are 14% above yesterday's highs, 114, and the Qs are 19% below yesterday's highs. So that's position in previous day's range. So again, not that much going on, but you can kind of see. How did they do in the last 15 minutes? Well, you can clearly see that the spiders were the strongest and the Qs were the weakest. Same for the hour. And for the day, the diamonds were the strongest, the spiders were second, and the Qs were the worst. And they're all doing fairly good for the year. So again, a quick snapshot, but as the day is happening, you can really see these indicators move, and they kind of give you an idea. You know, is it a tailwind or is it a headwind? So right here is your Lightspeed toolbar, and again, this is something that all of you should be used to. And notice how we use both things together. So we have some Lightspeed windows and then some Trade Idea windows. And this is the optimum workspace for Brokerage Plus because it combines the best of both worlds. So here we have two charts. We have a 90-day chart and a 15-minute chart. And notice that there's no studies. There's just a simple view. What's the big picture, relatively speaking, and what's the shorter time frame, smaller picture, relatively speaking, so that you can see that, well, here's this trend, and here it is on the graph, so that you know exactly where you are. And so the idea, again, is that as new information is being presented to you in Trade Ideas, you can quickly evaluate it with the Lightspeed tools and then make trading decisions. So the first key is that everything is linked. And without needing to show you how to link everything, what I'm going to just say is that the way this can get set up for you is that when you see something in Trade Ideas, and here's a streaming event watcher of things that are just up the most or down the most, and you can see here's Kinder Morgan just crossed a threshold of being mentioned more on social media than usual. I can double click and notice everything just comes up right away. So I can clearly see that, well, it's stalling on the longer term, okay, but still on the shorter term looks decent. And then here's some more information, like to give you a summary. Well, it's got high earnings per share. It's got a 2% short look. It's done very strong over the last 5 days, up to 0.6% since January. It's kind of, I would say in the 60th something percentile of its trading range. So this snapshot and also a summary of what it does lets you kind of just dive into it a little bit quicker without having to jump to a bunch of different links. And this is one of the cruxes of this optimized workspace. So in this window, you're going to see streaming things come through. Here's Young Brands doing the same thing, being mentioned on social media more than normal. Here's the Russell Russia Bear, okay, and it's having a post-market high. So as information comes through, you can quickly see just what's going on with it. Okay, you can see like, oh, look at this. Like here it is, kind of on lows for the year. It has roughly 1.3 mentions on social media. So this window helps you to see new things as they come through. Then the window right here is a window that we have designed that does a very specific thing. Notice how it's titled Biggest Pullbacks. So this window is looking for stocks that are up at least 5% for the day, but it's sorted on, column sorted on what's down the most over the last 30 minutes. So everything here is going to be strong in terms of percentage up for the day, but weak in terms of the last 30 minutes. And the idea is that, well, maybe this is a good opportunity to buy it. Obviously some weird thing with the charting here, but here's NUL, New Lead Holdings. You can see all the information, and here it is coming in, the 30-minute pullback. Mellanox, same thing. Okay, down 58 cents right into the close. Okay, WLL, same thing, down 40 cents into the close. So if you were watching this during market hours, you're right away geared into opportunities where there's strength and this is a pullback. And you can quickly resort all this information. You can say, okay, show me what's strong today, but is also like strong at the farthest end of its 10-day range. Or vice versa, what's strong today, but at the lower end of its 10-day range. And you can just quickly start perusing these interesting things without having to, like, again, jump through hoops or go through different websites. The idea is that all of this information is just quickly presented to you and easily resorted back to its initial state. The one thing to keep in mind is everyone that works with us and trades through Lightspeed Brokerage Plus we will train you on how to use all this information. So don't worry if you don't know exactly how to set all this up. Again, the idea here is not to spend time in being an expert at setting up. The idea is being an expert at executing an opportunity. And the only thing you need to do for that is click on the symbol and do a quick analysis. Okay? So here again, HLF. This is the mirror window, biggest pullbacks. Well, here is the biggest bounce. So what this does is it looks at stocks that are down a lot for the day and shows you them as they are bouncing. And here's the bounce. You know, again, what does this mean in terms of the overall strategy? That's obviously going to be up to you to decide, and we can also help you build strategies as well. But in this particular webinar, we're really just focused on that workspace, the optimization of how do you spend your time most effectively. And so the key here is that you don't need to have a lot of, even screen space per se. If I have an extra monitor that you're not seeing, but I use that for web browsing. I stay in one monitor, and I'm constantly looking, through these windows and trying to see, well, what is going on? Why is something happening? And, and I let the software alert me, and then I take action depending on what I think is reasonable for my specific risk tolerance and for my account size. What's nice is, I'm going to go over these 4 windows because these are the kind of the trigger windows, is that, again, here you're going to have just new information all day long, and you're going to have information on, bullish, bearish, new highs, consolidation, social media mentions, just a lot of new information as it relates to big gainers and big losers, because that's where the volatility is, and that's where you, as an astute trader with access to the Lightspeed technology, can take advantage of the commission structure and the speed. And here, it's just opportunity detection. Well, what's strong that's down the most, and what's weak that's up the most? And this window right here, and notice all of these that say T, they're top lists. So these are lists that automatically adjust, whereas this, which is called a multi-strategy window, it's a streaming window, and that's why you see a timestamp. As new things come in, other things move down the list. So this social media window is a phenomenal window because it just lets you know what are people talking about. And this, again, is good because this is where kind of the buzz is or the action is. So obviously you have the big-time Warner News today. It's at 6,000 times its normal social media mentions, and up 16.9% on 15 times the relative volume. That's something that you can quickly see, and hey, let's figure out what's going on. Obviously, you would have been alerted to this instantly from the open. Well, you can then also say, well, which one of these social media stocks are just being mentioned the most unusual amount? And here you have ELI, or rather, Elbit Imaging. It's a 21-cent stock. But hey, maybe if you were able to trade penny stocks or whatever, there's something in there for you. Here's AMSC, superconductor, American superconductor, is at 5,000 times normal social media mentions, and up 28%. So there's all these opportunities. You can quickly go from the positive right down to the negative. Well, here's all the stuff that's being mentioned at a relatively high amount on social media, but it's not doing very well. And you can quickly see, well, what's going on here? What's going on here? The idea is that notice, I just am constantly being refreshed with new opportunities, and then really, for me, it becomes a function of, well, what's my buying power, and what should I delve into? Here's Ross Stores, after hours, post-market highs. Again, I don't think this chart I'm seeing after hours data, but that's obviously what's happening. And then you have these 2 windows, and again, these windows are just this is what I call the comfort data. where you can see if you don't know what a company does and you want to, quickly see what it is. Here's Codexis, biotechnology, panels and kits for science engaging drug development. Again, you can just quickly see what's going on, and then you can make some quick decisions. Oh, well, they've got $24 million in cash, and they've got earnings in 13 days. But their quarterly revenue growth year over year is down 38%. So maybe, something's wrong. But notice, again, the speed at which I'm able to make these decisions. Just very quickly, I've got the business summary, I've got fundamental data and some position and range data, strong for the hour, week, longer term, not that good here. I can quickly make a decision. And then I'm going to bring you to the next window, which is really kind of the whole console of our union with Lightspeed. And this window is the Trade Ideas Brokerage Plus window itself. So there's some information here that's redundant. Notice here, again, I can see my P&L today in both places. So today I was down $382 on this 1,000 shares of Akiba, but my overall P&L in it is $230. That's the cost basis P&L. So I'm still up in the trade. Notice that we graph P&L, so you can kind of see. I didn't actually trade today because I was out of the office until I did the seminar, but notice that we graph the P&L, and I came in about an hour before the close. So for the last hour, this is what my P&L looked like. But if you start this window at the open, it'll track your total P&L so that you can really see, are you on lows, are you on highs, what are you doing? And it gives you your P&L breakdowns. What's your open long, open total, open short, your percentages, how are you doing in terms of winning trades versus losing trades. And there's an execution panel that, again, once you're connected, and do not worry about how to do it. There's videos that show you how, and we'll take you through it. But the idea here is that this works just like your Lightspeed execution panel, except it just does things a little bit differently. You can put in a stop price so that you can basically put in a limit of where you want to execute it, press buy, and it'll put in a limit order right here instead of doing something else. You can automatically place 2 orders at once. If you want to stop exit at the same time, you can say, okay, I'm going to, let's say, buy this at market and instantly place a stop at 23.92, and you hit buy, and it'll do both things at once. If you have multiple positions, you can limit out of them. Instead of like having to work the orders, here's a button that says limit out. You can do all of them, all the longs, all the shorts. You can reverse, you can double down, you can half the position, you can get out of all of it. And the idea here is, again, for you to spend less time manually trying to figure out how to do various things as it relates to order flow, and more time evaluating opportunities and just deciding where to focus. And from our point of view, what makes one the most successful is if you're focused on being able to see opportunities and decide if those opportunities are right for you. That's really ultimately what will make you the most successful. So to reiterate, I just want to mention again that all of the columns in these windows are sortable. So if I quickly want to see, well, what's just out of the ones that are up, down the most, what's down the least of the ones that are down the most? Well, here's this list, okay? And this one is the Grifols Pharmaceutical Preparation Manufacturer is the strongest out of the week, okay? I can do the same thing here. If I want to see, well, what's the weakest out of the strong, it's this guy, Quest Resource Holdings. So there's so many different ways that you can look at the data. You can just do it by total volume. Well, what's the list just by the largest amount of shares traded? And here it is, Intel, very strong today. Okay, the old school is doing really well. IGT with that potential buyout. Okay? So there's just so many ways for you to never say that the market is boring and never be worried that, there's nothing going on. Every single day there's something going on. And the more that we deal with successful traders and we talk to a lot of them, the more we realize that it's less about drawing the magic trend lines or finding this oscillator that's doing this and that. It's keeping it simple, but yet flexible and efficient. Let new information come to you. That's what we are the best at. Trade ideas, we're watching all of the data in real time on all the time frames. And we're watching it fundamentally, we're watching it price-wise, and we're watching the volume data all together. That's what our server farm in California is doing. And then we're bringing you this view of just like, well, where is the action? And the action is right here. Whether it's Allergan being discussed, an unusual amount on social media, or Select Comfort, having a high volume downward move, or going back to what we were saying before, the biggest bounce or the biggest pullback. We try to keep it simple in a way that, everybody here if a lot of you have some trading experience, or if you're just getting started, either way, the idea here is that when you see this information in real time, if you're sorting it in kind of a default view way, then a lot of these patterns will look similar. But that's the beauty of it. You're going to see strength overall. The stock's going to be up for the day, but pulling back. And so that gives you an opportunity to, either buy or bid into the overall momentum and find a counter trend time frame to get into the overall trend. Or if you're very savvy and you think, a turn is happening, well, you're going to see the turns before anyone. And again, same way with all of them, whether it's HLF or La Jolla Pharmaceuticals or 21st Century Fox. And the beauty to us is that there's really no missing information. The more you spend time trying to corroborate a story, the more you're going to miss other opportunities. So with this setup, where you have 4 windows that are showing you new information, 2 windows that are supporting the information, and then this information for the overall market, and I'm going to then now reach over to this graph right here, which is our compare count window. This window, obviously during market hours, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear it, and it's just looking at post-market highs and lows. So what this does is after hours or during market hours, depending on when you turn it on, it's keeping a tabs of what information is new highs versus new lows. So it's kind of like a real pulse, but not just daily information, but also the intraday data. So you're seeing the 5-minute, 10, 15, 30, 60-minute highs and lows, and you can see which stocks are, causing the information. And that way you can see, well, what's stronger? So since I've just cleared that window, we've had 56%, well, it's changing very rapidly as COP is coming in, with post-market lows. But you get the idea. During market hours, you have this very strong sense of which way is the path of least resistance. And it's constantly updating and graphing. And this window, together with all these windows, really kind of combine to create this synergistic view that helps you see not only the bigger picture better, and that's looking at all these position and range data points and the breadth of the market, but of course then the individual components, the visuals, and the portfolio management together. Of course, you can, here, since everything is linked, I'm also seeing the Lightspeed montage, so I can really see, what's going on with the level 2 data, if I need that kind of detailed information. I don't want to spend too much time, again, delving into the actual configuration, because the more we talk to clients, the more we find that it's best for us to set it up for you and have you then learn how to do it just over time. But the idea is that this is a full piece of the puzzle solution. Everything is already configured for you. And this isn't one strategy. This is the optimized workflow thesis. So every day, new information is going to be in this window, and this window, and this window, and in this window. And every day, this window is going to give you a new way to look at the market a little bit better, have just a slight edge of a feel over people that you're competing with. And that, again, is part of what we believe is the value proposition in Trade Ideas Pro for Lightspeed Brokerage Plus, and how it can make you a better investor and a better trader. To me, this really is the presentation. I want to conclude by saying that this is all available to you guys for free. The only cost is a 25-cent increase in commissions each way if you're using Brokerage Plus. And again, to us, that's how we get paid. And it is a premium for your portfolio management. It's a way for you to just more eloquently manage your portfolio, but you have the ability to do all the same stuff in Lightspeed if you choose to. So that's completely up to you. The idea is that it all works together. And while we don't recommend any particular strategy over another, like we mentioned in all the disclosures, we'll say this, that to be a better market participant, to see information better, is a price that's well worth the slight increase in commission structure to get the better information flow and the data to be more efficient. Remember, all of this is free for Lightspeed customers. And if you have any questions about anything that we did, like how do you get this exact layout, all you have to do is reach out to us at info@trade-ideas.com, and we will prioritize a training session for you, and we will help you, again, just get this type of workflow that is easy to manage, but very good in terms of giving you the kind of information to make all of you better in the market. I want to conclude by saying that I appreciate everybody spending their time after hours, and I hope that you at least investigate, because there's nothing better for traders than having this information at no cost. And that's what Lightspeed as your vendor is providing for you. So please take advantage and let us help you to be better. I want to thank everybody, and we'll do more webinars soon. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dan. That was great. I hope everyone was able to take a lot out of that. I know I certainly did. I'll be looking to make some changes to my trade ideas and link it to my Lightspeed Trader as well. Everyone, just please remember that you can view everything that was displayed here onto the website on our archive. It should be up within the next day or two. And you could always email info@trade-ideas.com if you would like further info or this setup, or discuss anything that was discussed here today. And you certainly can contact lightspeed.com for further assistance as well. If anyone has any other questions, we'll keep this open here for another minute or two, answer, and then we hope everyone has a great night. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We appreciate it. Everything will be on the website shortly, within the next day or two. And please feel free to email either Lightspeed or Trade Ideas for additional information how you could set this up. Remember, it is a free subscription with your Lightspeed account. As Dan mentioned, it's $75 per month, so it's tremendous value for that $75, and then to have it for free is amazing. So you really should take advantage of this offer. That will basically wrap it up here. Just take a look for future webinars on our website, and we definitely will have some more with Trade Ideas coming up in the future as well. Thank you guys very much, and have a great night, everyone. Thank you.